Hello, welcome to Match A of Pieces of 12, a 2v2 tournament by eSports.com with multiple teams all competing for a mighty €10 prize. Ooh. So in this match, the very first match of round 1, Match A, we have Team Pi consisting of Nolan the Nerd and EDT, and Team Fake consisting of Star of Sweden and OU. Fake are in red and Pi are in blue, both spawning on Not a Clopsy, which is a planet, rather cheesy planet, subject to strikes around the equator by internet trolls and internet haters. We're going to see a number of those strikes on this planet over the course of the game, so both teams are going to have to be very careful to keep their forces away from this equator zone. And they've been advised of this ahead of the game, so I expect to see spawns not by the equator. And it's for this reason that I have generally found myself favouring docks on this map, just for their speed in moving around. Failing that, there's our first strike. Now, failing that, you're going to want to have a lot of teleporters to move your troops around. So we have our players spawning in. It seems that one team at the north and one team at the south. So here we have Team Fake spawning at the north, and if we check our south pole, you'll find Team Pi. So we see a fairly standard opening from Pi. We've got going bots and vehicles rear player, and for our other team we have them going air and vehicles, but we also have an energy storage at the beginning. Not sure I agree with that as a start. I'm not a big fan of storage at the beginning of the game. I know some people favour it more. Generally I think you're best off just burning through that early eco as quickly as possible with a fast factory setup. Just at the context of this game, this is not being done live, this is being done as a part of a replay after the fact. This game was played on the 12th of December, which means there have been a number of patches since then. So to refresh your memory, this is before ground AA prioritised bombers, this is before the naval rebalance. I think those are probably the primary changes during that period. So the docks line of sight has been changed at this point, so it is the same as the tanks. So let's have a look at what our two teams are doing. See Fake starting out with some scouting with their Fireflies. Meanwhile, Team Pi starting to move their docks out. So also pinging some points. Possibly for scouting, I don't see any previews there to indicate they've expanded those points, so potential scouting locations. I think we're going to, we should see Pi moving on the aggressor, being the aggressor here then, and it looks like a fairly defensive stance being taken up by Team Fake, who are also making a rather early move into the water. Oh, in actual fact, Pi are as well, so both teams going straight into this lake, which in actual fact is connected, so both teams have a way to backdoor their opponents through this lake. Tier 1 naval though not going to reach too far into the base, so I expect that we will see a move to Tier 2 quite quickly if that's the route they want to go. And we can already see that Pi is starting to pull ahead in eco now, as they expand rather aggressively out here. Indeed slightly behind on Fabbers though, but apparently making a better use of them. With the mobile count, just bear in mind there that with Pi going for docks, that means that their docks are at 1/3 the cost of a tank, so that mobile count not entirely accurate in terms of strength of army. Look what we've got going on here. Okay, so in terms of output, both teams staying rather equal. Fake starting to fall up behind here. I think they were leaving their Fabbers idle for too long. But I believe that Pi have now been scouted by Fake. Yes, they see everything. They know exactly where the base is. They know exactly what's going on there. So some good work from Fake. And Pi starting to move in with the docks. Don't actually know what's going on though, so this is their first scouting. They've caught out some Fabbers there. Unfortunately, it seems that Team Pi is not paying attention to their initial scouting party. They haven't noticed the Fabbers, and Fake is moving in to crush that incursion before it even begins. Finally, Pi get on the ball with it, and perhaps might still pick up these Fabbers. Fake running away. Docks should have... No, unfortunately tanks have pulled into range. Managed to sneak a second one there, but not as good as it could have been. Unfortunately, they should have really picked up all 4 fabbers. But Pi making a move for a heavy naval presence now, already expanding the fabbers out. Both teams doing quite well with their eco so far. They're not taking anything they can't spend, so good place in both teams. And indeed, Pi already moving another force in. And for some reason, Fake are moving out of position to allow Pi to come in through exactly the same route as they used initially. Bit of a mistake there, Pi team Fake. Yes, unfortunate. And I think we're going to see Pi pick up both of these fabbers. So, and again, Fake completely out of position here. Tanks rallied way back. If they're expanding forward with their fabbers, then the tanks really should be rallied to where those bots are standing right now, or at least most of them should be. Not sure why they've got tanks over here when this is the point where their fabbers are. But unfortunately the docks didn't retreat afterwards and are now going to be easily picked up by tanks, so unfortunately that ends up being a significant loss for Pi, where they should really have been picking up a rather nice and easy victory there. But we can see that Fake is already starting to make some moves with its naval. Oddly going Orcas. Now that makes sense with the latest patch, but at the moment Orcas, they weren't really competitive with narwhals in this patch. The only thing you would not want an Orca for is if you were anticipating commanders in the water, because you want the torpedoes. But at this stage you probably want to have narwhals out there. And we see narwhals 14 Pi here, though being kept in a very conservative position, and again a mistake being made in that they should have moved them forward to look after the fabbers. Haven't done that. Though these fabbers retreating a little prematurely here, could have easily picked up a reclaim kill on the air fabber. So I think Pi's giving ground that doesn't need to. And we see here Pi again making moves with docks. Unfortunately choosing to come in the same way they have with the 2 previous attacks, and I can't say I agree with that. They need to be coming around the side, one of these sides, and I would think the west side here is probably best because they haven't encountered any troops there yet. But coming down this centre is a mistake because Fake's totally going to be ready for that. And as we can see, indeed, Fake is putting up a dual laser turret there, in which these docks should be able to take out. But if this tank support gets in place, then that's not going to go well. And there we go. And someone is planning, I think this is Pi, planning a vehicle expansion in the centre. That is not a good idea. If we look at the crater pattern, I think that's right in line for a strike. I would not put that there. I would not even recommend putting factories there anyway. You are far better off putting down teleporters on this map. You're going to want to move your forces. If you're dancing around with docks, it's perhaps not so bad, but if you're going to go tanks, and they've got tanks back here anyway, then in that case, put down teleporters so you can bring your tank forces straight onto the front lines. Don't be dithering around with this frontline factory nonsense. But we see here Pi now trying to come around on the side, but they've lost a significant portion of that force in doing so, and it's going to be picked up by some bombs here. Yeah, this is going to be cleared nicely by Fake. Work there. Oh, and indeed, this is actually this is quite impressive here by Fake. They are scouting ahead of their attack force here with this fighter and this Firefly, checking. Yeah, they're checking out to see what's going on ahead of this force, so they don't get surprised. Whereas we see Team Pi running their docks in without any forward scouting, sort of running into tanks and getting themselves killed. So good work by Fake there. Good use of their air at the moment. So we see a defensive force of tanks sitting at the back here, and I think this is a Tier 2 air that's planned. Not Tier 2 air, sorry, a Tier 2 navy that's planned here by Pi. And indeed, we see Pi taking a rather substantial economy lead with this aggressive expansion here, which is something that Fake are really going to have to catch up with. And indeed, Fake have a larger fabber force, significantly larger fabber force, but they don't appear to be using it, and we see a lot of it idling here in the base. So that's a bit of a waste there by Fake. They really need to be getting out there, grabbing some more of this metal, and not just letting Pi take it all. But still, see good moves here by Fake, once again scouting ahead of the main force. And they're coming in from the side, not coming straight down the centre, so nicely dodging the radar that Pi put in, and yeah, as expected, that expansion, or that proxy base rather, in line for a strike, taken out, radars taken out, half of that docks force was taken out, a terrible loss for Pi there, big mistakes, and they're going to have to withdraw. I'm thinking that, yes, the Pi look a little exposed on this side. Do they know that that force is there? Area patrol for the plane doesn't quite reach it, so they're not aware of that force yet. And we see again here, Fake making moves with their aircraft to find out what they're running into. To kind of, yeah, impressive scouting here, I have to say. I wish I was quite as thorough with my scouting. But Pi are starting to take ownership of this lake. They, in actual fact, should be being more aggressive here, taking this centre section and holding it with their substantial navy advantage. Still, defending the tier 2 that they're bringing up, so not a bad idea. This docks rush is a mistake, though. That's not going to fare well against this tank force. They need to bring up their tanks from the rear and just get the docks out of there. And they certainly need to be looking to do some of that commander. Yeah. So wall, sensible approach there. Hold off that force, and it has to. It retreats, and it's going to go around the other way. But we see some good. Oh, in actual fact, we see Fake putting down a teleporter. Very good move here by Fake. So this is going to allow them to get their tanks onto the front lines far more aggressively. And indeed, I think... Is there a radar around here? I don't see one anymore. No, there's nothing here. I don't think they have an awareness of that. No. So they don't see that out there. Oh, and unfortunately splitting up of their force by Fake there. Part of the force went across this little causeway. The other's gone the long way around. Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake. But we see Pi now moving into the lake. Convincing advantage here, yes, and Faking it because they're in trouble. That's not going to get taken up by an air force. Far too many narwhals. They'd have to have a fairly substantial air investment, which I don't believe the Fake have. No, indeed not. Indeed, they do not have that. And indeed, we see Fake setting up for an attack here, getting themselves ready to perhaps make a larger push into the base. Teleporters online, reinforcements coming through. In actual fact, Fake have a rather substantial tank force that's going to reinforce that as well. Don't mind the flickers, that's just the troops coming in through the teleporter. Oh, and a poor choice of confrontation there by Pi, running straight into the infernos of Fake. And Fake take that confrontation nicely. Meanwhile, Pi, though, sending another force. Unfortunately, once again, looking like they're going to run straight down the middle. A really suboptimal choice, especially as that teleporter is now sitting behind the wall. So the army of Fake is going to be gathering right where Pi are heading. But now Fake making a big push into Pi's base. I think going that way is a mistake. I think they should be continuing to make a push towards that the northern side. They should probably have scouted that. They're now going to get themselves split up between two forces here. And if I were Pi, I would hold back behind these fabrics, get some walls up, put the tanks behind the walls, really decimate this force from Fake. Going head to head like this, it's not a good idea. They've got the numbers, but they're in the wrong positions, and they could win a much bigger victory. But bringing their navy back here, it's a good move. Going to give them the advantage. Going this way by Fake was a huge mistake. I think it's taken them too close to this water, this navy, and it's going to be an easy pickup here for Pi. Although again, throwing the docks in, and not advisable, not something I think would have been a good idea. Yeah, they're throwing them away now. Those, but I think we're going to see. Oh no! What is Pi doing? Why is this commander? Oh no! And Pi are going to lose this commander. This is a huge mistake by Pi. What should have been an easy pickup, taking out the force of Fake, and they've just gone to lost themselves a commander for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Just terrible moves. But thankfully, they are now trying to take the initiative over here with a naval assault, which is Fake trying to get some defences, but that's not going to be enough. That's going to get taken out. This docks force unfortunately looked like it was left alone a little too long, but still making some moves, taking up the teleporter. You really could do taking out the teleport at the other end, but this one will do for now, I guess. but that's not going to get very far against the tanks. They should probably just have engaged. I think they should just probably run into the middle of Infernos in there. No, it's probably wouldn't have done that then. Running amongst the tanks would not have worked. No, they really need to stop making these frontal assaults with the docks, really. And now we see indeed that, yeah, Fake have expanded out. They've got much better recon than they had. Pi are stalling hard. Let's see indeed if Pi even know about these, which they don't. They need to be scouting much better. Find that these are here. Use them. Take advantage of their mobile dock force to be taking out this economy lead that Fake are starting to build up now. And indeed, that's yeah, we can see the production about the same, but the demand is far stronger. They simply can't support this anymore, and their efficiency has been tanking hard for a long time now. They really need to fix that as quickly as they possibly can. The teleporter's still there, and let's. But they've seen it, they've scouted it, they know it's there, but for some reason they don't appear to be making any move. Ah, there we go, finally pinged it. It's been scouted, but they probably hadn't noticed before. But they need to make a move soon to take it out. It's poorly defended. They've just scouted it with planes again, so they know there's not much there. Finally, we're starting to move some tanks in. And another teleporter tried to get down. I think that was a little ill-advised. That was rather unnecessary and a bit too close to Pi's base. But yeah, reinforcements coming through the teleporter, so unfortunate lapse there by Pi. If they'd noticed that earlier, they'd have been able to close it down before Quitch even came through. Oh, they're running their dock straight in again. No, I think the dock's use unfortunately has been poor. They've got a far more mobile force than Fake has. They should be using that to their advantage. Indeed, credit to Fake, who've gone with a primarily defensive tank force, and yet are really making all the moves now and causing Pi to have to react to them. This teleporter positioning is beautiful. To be quite honest, it is a beautifully positioned teleport, allowing them to come straight in at Pi, who simply aren't prepared to deal with this, especially with their tanks at the back of the base. I think, in all honesty, they'd been better with the front player here going for the tanks and this player going for the docks, but of course they didn't know where Fake was. Perhaps though they should be using this avenue here to move a land force where Fake are completely unprepared. And once again, tank force coming in here, force of docks, but they're coming in through the front door rather than coming around the side, taking out that metal, and they're going to run straight into the force of Fake. You just bring, because the teleporter's there, they just bring their troops straight back. Take out the teleporter, but again, taking out a teleporter in your opponent's base is not going to achieve anything. That teleporter is what, 400 metal. It costs them nothing. They're going to replace that in no time. And we see here that Pi's build efficiency is still absolutely terrible. They've really got to fix that. They really need to fix it fast. I don't know what on earth they're doing with all these fabbers though, Fake. It's 44 fabbers to 15 factories. That's a real imbalance. Pi's got way too many factories. Fake has way too many fabbers, but at least Fake isn't using those fabbers to cripple their economy. But they're going to have to react to this naval presence soon. It's starting to take out the rear of this base, and they're losing a number of metal spots here. And indeed, we see some tier 2 coming out of Pi, starting to move up a Leviathan here. And once that gets in range, that's really going to cause some devastation in Fake's base. Fake needs to do something about that soon. Those bombers aren't going to get anywhere. Not against that size of narwhals. And indeed, now there's orcas in there. I would recommend normally that they move in with commanders to try and take out that naval force. I think you have to bring some commanders in through the water. Use the commander torpedoes to try and take them out. I don't see any other way that naval force is going to be dislodged at this point. The land units probably struggle. The naval units could just move out of range. And now Fake crippling their economy, which presumably means their fabbers are all engaged in something. Yes, that's very ill-advised. They're trying to rapidly pump out an air force, but they do not have the eco for it. They should, with all these fabbers idle, and some of these should have just been producing energy. Those fabbers could be used for assisting. That's not going to work for them. So Pi making some moves now on the teleporter, and again Fake simply moves its troops back through. It looks like they're going to pick it up though. The fake teleporter is now picked up. But some Infernos leading the charge here, really tanking the fire, and indeed we're seeing Pi's force start to melt here. Yep, those Infernos blocking the shots, allowing the... Oh dear, that's unfortunate. Yeah, Pi should have withdrawn that force before those Infernos could close in, seal the deal. And now there's looking like a rather unchecked force. And there's some spinners in there. If they brought over fighters to cover the bombers, they could probably bomb this to death. Those docks aren't going to do it though. And we see again Pi once again sending another docks force right down the centre. This has been a problem all game for them. Lack of imagination in where they're attacking. They really need to find where the resources of Fake are and take those out. These docks are never going to take out that base. And are we going to see that strike near? It does. It takes out the entire force. Another unfortunately timed assault there by Pi. But they really need to stop using that central route. It's not working for them. They've got to use those to hit the outskirts of the base, take out the resources of Fake. And a beautifully balanced economy by Fake otherwise, I have to say. It's all in the green. And Pi needs to be getting out there and expanding, taking some more of these metal. I would see some mechs queued up for them, but there's a Faber right here on the front lines. Probably queued up all that by itself. They need to send some more Fabers out there. Really put the work in. Naval Force has now run out of targets, so it's going to be waiting for its Leviathan to close in. And I think we're seeing Fabers move in, I suspect, to set up another teleport. Yes, they are. And we're seeing, yeah, that Pi should really have a raid up at this point, because without one, they are not picking up on these teleporters. They're not aware. I would not have positioned that teleporter there myself. I'd probably gone for a more aggressive flanking maneuver, but putting it there seems a bit risky. But they just need to get their troops in. They just need to keep attacking. They can't disrupt that naval presence now. They've missed their window there, I think. So they have to be keeping up assaults on Pi's base, just hoping they can punch through with tanks now that they've completely lost the water. I think there's too many ships over there now for the commanders to wade in and take it out. Pi losing another dock force. I don't think Pi have done anything with their docks this game. I do believe that they've been picked off almost every time. It's been a bit they haven't been using them the best. I think they've been better off with both players going tanks the way that they've attempted to use these forces. A lack of teleporters though might have crippled them with that approach. But those docks have been going through the centre and just dying, so tanks would be better if you want to just punch it through the centre. Tanks are the way to go. We've seen full-on frontal assault coming in from Fake. Bringing up more Fabers to the rear here, starting to build up a little fire base, radar, missile turrets. They've got a good idea of what's going on out there. You can see the odds. Oh, this commander's getting a bit close, isn't he? No. He should be retreating from here. He should certainly not still be in this area. I suspect... Oh dear. This is an all-in really from Fake at this point. That Navy sitting in their rear. And I think they're going to get away with it. I think Pi have left that commander alone on the front lines when perhaps he should have been sitting in the very safe water. The Air Force turns away because it doesn't have its bombers yet. It's going to be too late, I think. Unfortunately it is. And Pi destroyed the time when they had the battleship helping to polish off some more of the space. Unfortunate. I think that could well have been Fake's last gasp if that attack had been beaten off. It could have gone quite well for Pi, even despite their terrible efficiency. But yeah, I think we can see here what cost Pi the game. They're just absolutely terrible economy management. Really need to do better with that. They need to expand out. Winning the water was a big win for them. Dockstown, the centre, not very good, but they were holding their own. They'd beaten off the attacks from Fake. Fake lost a big force by going down this causeway, but it was really some poor commander positioning both times actually that cost Pi that game. So congratulations to Fake, who go through to round 2 of Pieces of 12. But it's not over for Pi yet. They move into the losers bracket of this double elimination 2v2, so they will have another opportunity to win their way back into the main brackets. So good luck to both teams there. We see how they do in future casts. But this has been the Pieces of 12 2v2 match A, Pi in the blue versus Fake in the red, and I have been Quitch, your caster. I look forward to seeing you next time.